So a big struggle that I had during this past couple months was just to be in the moment and not worry about what's coming next or what the future is going to look like, which is really difficult during a pandemic because everything was changing so much. There were just things happening or things not happening. And at the same time, I was pregnant and about to give birth, and I had a 2-year-old at home. And I also had a husband who was an essential worker. So he was going in every day at work, and he wasn't knowing where he was gonna be working that day, which floor he was gonna be on. He got pulled from his normal floor and actually worked with Corona patients. So there were just a lot of things going on that were not my norm. And I'm a very type A personality. I like to have A, B, and C, and it lines up to D. And that's not what life is. There's a lot of different things that happen. And even though I do A, B, C, it doesn't always work out to D. And that's what I was facing being pregnant. A life is forming inside of you and you have no idea what's going on until the baby comes out. And my son was going through changes because he's growing older, and my husband's going through changes, and I was getting very anxious. So that's something that I really already deal with, and then the pandemic just brought it up to a whole different level. So with that, I always have a choice, right? God's word says that do not be anxious because God is with you. And so I constantly struggle with knowing the truth because I do know it, but then I see reality. And we learn that faith is seeing reality, but choosing to believe that God has the power to keep his promises. And I was really struggling with that on multiple levels. I was struggling with that with the world, right? All these people are dying and people are hurting, and so many people's lives are being changed. They don't know if they're gonna have a job. They don't know if their family's gonna live or not. And then to my own family level of, is my husband gonna get it? Is he gonna take it home to us? And so my tendency is to control. I was like, you can't do this. You have to shower. You have to do all these things. Don't come near me. And I remember there was this one time we found out his coworker actually had the virus, and he sits with him in the same office. And I was just like, do we socially distance you at home? We live in this small apartment. How would I even accomplish that? Do I have to wipe everything down? My personality was like OCD. What do I have to do? But then I remember thinking to myself, I have no control over this. It's happened already. We need him with us. I need help. I'm how many months pregnant? I have a toddler, and I need my husband around me. So in that moment, I really had a choice. Am I going to control, take matters into my own hands to try to achieve a certain outcome? Or am I gonna trust what God says and know that he's in control, and know that whether we get it or when we don't get it, he's gonna take care of us? And that was just one out of many times that I had to choose to do that. But was making that choice easy? Absolutely not. And I still have to make that choice every day. The problem that I am seeing in myself is that I really think that if I keep knowing what comes next, or if I have a solution for everything, then my anxiety will go away and my fear will go away. But it's just not true, because when one worry goes away, another worry pops up. When one fear goes away, another fear comes up, or it just presents itself in different ways, especially as a mother. I have a newborn now, and I'm like, will she get it? Is she okay? And it's just a never-ending thing. So the only way that can be fixed, or the only way that I can have peace in my heart, is if I remember what God says, and if I choose to have faith, and if I remember that knowing the answer or knowing the solution is not going to bring me peace. It's just knowing who's always with me. And there are some days where it's so on my mind and I feel like I'm winning. And then there are other days where I completely forget about it and I find myself feeling very sad and very lost. So I really remember what I learned in Romans during Growth Catalyst, that you won't know what to do, but then your flesh doesn't let you do that. So I'm constantly teetering back and forth between control and faith. So one of the things that I've really been praying for throughout this whole thing is for God to keep me in the moment, for me to keep my eyes focused on today, because that's what he says. Tomorrow is tomorrow, the past is the past, all I have is this moment. And I keep thinking of daily bread in the Bible, and that's really what I say to myself when I find myself already getting anxious about the future. I stop and I say, Justine, daily bread. That's all God asks you to focus on. It's the strength He gives you for today. He doesn't prepare you for tomorrow today. He prepares you for today. So what I've been really trying to focus my prayer on is asking God to keep me here in the today and to always bring to light His goodness in my mind, and for me to choose to see that He's coming through in even the small ways.